Okay, hello Cloud Gurus and welcome to this lecture. This is just a theoretical lecture to explain what Bastion hosts are. So what is a Bastion host? So this is the Wikipedia definition of a Bastion host, and it says that it's a special purpose computer on the network specifically designed and configured to withstand attacks. And the computer generally hosts a single application, for example, a proxy server, and all other services are removed or limited to reduce the threat to this computer. It is hardened in this manner primarily due to its location and purpose, which is either on the outside of a firewall or inside a demilitarized zone. And what do they mean by demilitarized zone? Well, basically public subnet. And it usually involves access from untrusted networks or computers. So let's have a look at a Bastion host in action. So in here, we've got our public subnet, which is here, and we've got our private subnet in here. And let's say that we have a NAT instance. Our NAT instance is behind a security group. And let's also say we have a NAT gateway. And you could have one or the other, but the difference is obviously NAT instance is an individual EC2 instance, which is behind a security group. And then the NAT gateway doesn't need to be behind a security group. And this is much more redundant. It's not a single instance. So when our instances in our private subnets need to access the internet, they do so via either a NAT instance or a NAT gateway. So that's when they're downloading patches or installing software, etc. But if we need to go in and administer this environment, what would typically happen? I've got SSH or RDP, so SSH for Linux or RDP going to Windows. And essentially what it's doing is it's going through the internet gateway, it's going through our root tables, it's going through our network ACLs, it's going through our security groups, and then it's going on to our Bastion server. And then our Bastion server basically just forwards the connection through SSH or through RDP to our instances. And then in this scenario, all we need to do is harden our Bastion host. We need to harden as strongly as possible because that's what's going to try and be hacked. And then we don't have to worry about hardening our instances in our private subnet. So long as our Bastion host is hardened, that makes it a lot easier. We're basically reducing the surface area in which we need to harden. So that's all a Bastion is. It's a way of SSHing or RDPing into your private instances in your private subnets. And you essentially just focus on hardening this Bastion host. And you can get Bastion host AMIs from the AWS AMI community marketplace as well. So in terms of Bastion hosts, just remember the following. A NAT gateway or a NAT instance is used to provide internet traffic to EC2 instances in private subnets. So then it's not being used to SSH or RDP in. A Bastion is used to securely administer EC2 instances, so using SSH or RDP. Bastions are also called jump boxes in Australia. So if you're an Australian watching this and you're wondering, this sounds exactly like a jump box, that's exactly what it is. They're the same thing. And then you cannot use a NAT gateway as a Bastion host. So if you are going to be RDPing or SSHing into your instances in private subnets, you need to go in and configure a Bastion host. You can't do it through a NAT gateway. That is it for this lecture, everyone. In the next lecture, we're going to have a look at Direct Connect. So if you've got the time, please join me in the next lecture. Thank you.